Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Taking Up Space, a Michelle A. Mayer podcast. Always excited about coming forward. Today's no different, you guys. Today, I'm going to be, this may be a short podcast. I'm trying to shorten my podcast so that they're not so elongated. But today's podcast will be on taking up space. Take up space. We're at the end of the year. I am looking to encourage you all to take up space, to maximize, to make your presence felt in the world. And I'm looking to motivate you in ways, using biblical examples in ways that you can go about doing this. What does it mean to take up space? I know I named this podcast Taking Up Space, but what does it mean? Well, I've spoken to this before, and in my ideology, taking up space means coming forward with something useful. All of these podcasts that I come forward with, all of my communications, either in written form or in the form of videos, are all showcased to add a nugget, a perspective to whatever it is that you all already have going on. They're to add another perspective to the ponderings of life, so that you can take pieces of them or adopt them in their totality and make them your own and go out in the world and be useful to make an impact in your own lives or the lives of your families or your friends or in the world in general, and take it a step further. I come forward with these podcasts to maybe put some intrigue in your mind, to begin to look at certain things that we see all the time in a different way. And in coming forth with my ideologies, I'm taking up a particular space on the internet or within the hearts and minds of those people that view these videos. And that's the motivation that I have for you all, because I'm not doing anything unique. Take up space. Be useful. Be authentic. Share your theories. You see, all these theories that we have are of the same old stories that we've heard all along throughout our lives. And those people that have come forward and shared their stories that we have found so useful that we ponder in our minds and in our hearts are no different than us. It's not that they're born with any type of particular nuance that we don't have. They may have a specific inclination to a thing that may not interest us, and that we may have a specific inclination to something different, but just as monumental. We all have our own uniqueness, yet none of us are greater or lesser than one another. And in that truth, we all have the ability to go out in the world and take up space. And until we can even until we can get to a point where we can actually go out and take up space by commanding the attention and elaborating on things that we know and love, we can hold space before we take up space. Holding space is being attentive, observant, supportive. Even if you have nothing to offer and you're just absorbing, you're in your absorption mode, in your absorption season, you can hold space by just not really putting any type of input into the pot, but just receiving the aroma from the pot and allowing it to marinate in what you already have until you've cultivated a knowing deep enough within yourself that you can go out and take up space. We see this ideology with Joseph. Joseph would hold space initially. He would absorb all the information that God would send him in the form of dreams, and he would speak these dreams to his brethren. He really wouldn't know what to make of them. He would go through a season of perfecting his craft in understanding prophetic dreams. Dreams that he would have firsthand experience in. They would come to him. Profound dreams. And he would tell these dreams to his family. And It would be as if his own family would notice that there would be a calling over Joseph's life. They would know better than anyone, okay, these dreams that Joseph is saying he's having, I could see him standing in the truth of this dream. He's not just hoping for something monumental. In fact, he doesn't even know what to make of the dreams that he's getting. He's so perplexed by them that he can't help but tell everybody around him, because he's hoping that someone can help him understand what is actually going on. Is he the only one having these dreams? Isn't that what we do when we are in our learning mode? We share and we ask questions, and we're more inclined to take input from other people because we're really trying to make sense of what God is doing and saying in our lives. This is Joseph. He would spend a season of his life amongst those he would trust the most, his family, the people that knew him best and that he would know best. He would speak truths to them that they would become fearful by. You see, Joseph's brothers were more fearful than anything as to Joseph's dreams. Anybody else would have brushed it off, but because Joseph's brothers saw something in Joseph, they were fearful of the truths of his dreams. His dreams and him coming to them and expounding upon his dreams and telling them of all the profound visions he had in his mind while in the sleep state, strike a spirit of fear in his brethren. Instead of them embracing him, instead of them just chalking it all up as happenstance, one-offs, they knew something within them was kindled that said that there is some truth to this. And a lot of you out there go through the same thing. Many of you have experiences with God and in life that you yourselves don't really notice the fullness that you stand within. You can't connect the dots. You're so busy walking the path that you don't take in the totality of what God is doing in your life. But I'm here to tell you that there are people around you that see it, friend. Regardless of if they acknowledge it or not. Most times people will not acknowledge it. Most times people will look to sabotage you from ever standing in it. So they will create roadblocks, stopping you from, or looking to stop you from really diving deep and going full throttle in walking on the path that God has established for you to walk. They will look to discredit you and to put you in states of confusion or even states of doubt so that you second guess the knowing that you have of that thing that God is doing in your life. This would be Joseph's walk initially. And it will be betrayal and confusion and chaos that will lead Joseph to a deeper knowing of himself, because that's what he lacked. This was the only thing that Joseph lacked from the gate, was his knowing. He knew what he saw and what he experienced, but his level of knowing his relationship to it is what needed to be cultivated. He needed to be able to cultivate a relationship with him trusting himself regarding his family, his brothers, or even God and God's word that God spoke over Joseph's life, that Joseph did not hear in its fullness. And that's how it goes with God. He doesn't speak his word to us in, one-liners. Okay, you have a calling over your life, and your calling is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I'm going to send you on this path to realize your calling. It doesn't happen that way. God is an activity-based God. It's as if God sends us on these journeys of self-realization. And a lot of times the journeys of self-realization come with a lot of betrayal. They come with a lot of chaos. They come with a lot of confusion and fear and change. They come with profound truths that are hurtful. Truths that you don't want to know. Like, I don't want to see the truth of this because it shatters my perception that I built of this situation or of these people. All of these things are hurtful. Yet these are the ways that God leads us. God shatters our perspectives, whether there are perspectives of the plans that we've created for our lives. Oh, I'm going to be a health enthusiast, and I'm going to eat all the right foods, and I'm going to do all the right things with my body, and I'm going to work out every day, and I'm going to do all these things to sustain me physically, so that there's no way any kind of physical ailment can come upon me. And then what do you know? You're doing all the right things, and you're adhering to all the right diets, and then here comes this health problem out of nowhere. God laughs at our plans. And now you must get your mind wrapped around the fact that you've adhered to a particular protocol, and you had a plan, and you stood in your plan, and you trusted your plan, and your plan failed you. You got to get your mind wrapped around that, and then you got to get your mind wrapped around, if that failed, what else could fail? What in my mind, what in my ideology was weak enough for me to even believe that such things could be foolproof? And if these things are not foolproof, what else in my life is not foolproof? You'll go on this whole process of looking at every single thing in your life. One thing goes wrong that you banked on, that you prepared for, you thought you had, and that God laughed at and allowed to be altered, allowed the rug to be pulled from up under your feet while standing in, will make you renegotiate every aspect of your life. And usually it'll come in a season of your life that you can't afford to go through such things. Surely if it would have came in your 20s, you'd have bounced back real quick. If it would have came in your 30s, you'd have bounced back real quick. If you didn't have any kids and all these various responsibilities, it wouldn't have been no problem. But it comes when you have a full family and you've built a whole system atop of this ideology, this mindset that you got. And it's the fourth quarter of your life. It's a heavy trip. It's a heavy mental trip. These are the ways of God. And these are the ways that God keeps you useful, y'all. It's the heavy things, the chaotic things. When I speak to chaotic things, I'm speaking to things of this. Things that will make you sit up and really go deep within yourself. You can't look outside for anything. All of it is internal. Things that make you rethink your existence. Things that ground you in reality so deeply you cannot avoid them. These are the redirections. These are the things that God will do to you in this life so that you keep evolving and you keep growing. These are the things that allow you to truly take up space. Not hold space, but take up space. Because when you come out of those situations while holding space, you hold space while in them in your observation of them and of yourself. You will observe the movement of God. You will observe all of your past actions. You will micromanage your own walk. You will figure you out. You will be forced to sit and think and ponder your own life. as to what really matters and what have you actually done and what do you really stand for and what have you in mind really for the future and what really matters. What is rich enough to have a space in your tomorrow based upon the wisdom you've learned from your experience. And when you ponder, after pondering these things and holding space within that walk, within that time of observation and wrestling, you will come out of that with a profound knowing that no one can shake, that no one can take from you. And you, if you are wise and if you have been useful and if you have paid attention, will go forward and you will take up space, friend. I encourage you to be useful. To be courageous and go and embark upon a journey by offering all of the value that you have gained in your life thus far. Take up space. Someone needs your experience. Someone needs your knowledge. They need your passion. They need your knowing. Whatever you think it may be, it could be irrelevant to you. But I'm here to tell you that it is monumental to someone else. And that thing that you think is irrelevant, but that you know so well, and that you earned a knowing of. You've held on to your fascination of this thing throughout the highs and the lows of life. All of the different seasons, all the different storms. You have a testimony of what it took for you to cultivate your knowing of that thing. It is your responsibility to offer it up. This is the fourth quarter of this year. We're embarking upon a whole new year, y'all. And like I said in my Hey Friend episode that I delivered last week, or was it this week? There's no New Year resolution going on here. We're beyond that. I think it's fair to say that the New Year resolution thing it's great. But really, what's doable are the small things, y'all. I have learned in my life that it is the small steps in the darkness that create the build. When you take the first step, the second step will come naturally. The place for your foot to land next will automatically show itself. But you must take the first step. I encourage you to take the first step in sharing your perspective on whatever old story that has been told time and time again. You see, all these things that we're offering up, each and every one of us, all the things that we offer are perspectives of old things. There's nothing new in the world. Nothing. All of our experiences are regurgitated. We all have the same experience most often. All of the things talking points that we could talk to, they've been talked about before by somebody else, most likely. The only thing new is your theory on it. The only thing new is your ideology of it. The only thing new is your perspective on your approach to it and what you experienced while tangoing with it, while wrestling with it. And that is what the world knows. That is what the world needs. Be prepared for the pushback. Don't let the pushback stop you. Friend, the pushback is going to come naturally. What have you gotten that's of value yet in this life that did not come with some form of resistance? The resistance will come. But I guarantee you that if you've aligned properly with God and paid attention to your path in this life, you will be able to weather the pushback. You will have everything you need in weathering the pushback. And even if you don't, that which you need will be available to you when it presents itself. When that pushback comes and you need something to hold to, you will embark on a journey in aligning to that which you need. And that in itself, friend, will add another nugget of experience to you. So that further along in your life, when you come out of that, you'll have a testimony. It'll build upon itself. There's nothing lost. There's no losing. There's only testimonies that build upon one another and flower out in their due seasons to establish you so that you can take up space. All that you do in this life leads to something greater that allows you to take up space, friend. Go out in the world and take up space. And if you're not ready to do that just yet, go out in the world and get the experiences you need to build upon one another so that in your future self can do such things, can go out and intentionally, monumentally take up space. Keep going. This is my word for y'all today. Very short podcast episode. I'm looking to be as short as I possibly can because I'm trying to fine tune this thing and not be so long-winded. Joseph, in his holding space stage, would tell his brothers his dream. And them out of fear because they saw something in Joseph that Joseph didn't yet see in himself, would send Joseph on a monumental journey of self-realization, of building his knowing, his trust in God, and building his level of experience, one atop another, until he would get to a crescendo where he would really know. He wouldn't need to tell anybody anything. He wouldn't need to cross-reference his dreams by anyone to get validation. In fact, he would become the master at dream interpretation. He would become the master at that thing in which he was once so weak in. He will become the master and go before the mightiest man in the world and counsel him. And in him counseling the mightiest man in the world, he would attract his own family, the ones that betrayed him, the ones that were afraid of his shine, that wanted to control his shine. His naysayers were in his family. Yet, at the end of the day, what another person that would not have if another person, if they did not pay attention to their walk and learn incrementally along their way from all of the chaos in their life, like Joseph did, would have been bitter, resentful to his brothers. But because Joseph saw it as an adventure, painful, yes. Humiliating, absolutely. But the richness that he got made it all worthwhile. He could not have gotten the richness of experience that he got any other kind of way. So, in the end, when he reconnected with his brothers, he was able to bless them and not have an inkling of an idea in harming them. Why harm them? They've blessed them. And I encourage you to see your life the same way. Go out into the world and take up space. And if you're not strong enough in taking up space yet, go out in the world and hold space. Be a sponge and hold space. and welcome all the experiences you will need. Get them. The experiences are vital, friend. Get them. Take them, all of them, whatever they are, and let them build upon one another so that your future self can come forward and command space by taking up space. You're loved more than you'll ever know. I'll never stop telling you. Be good to yourselves. I love you. God loves you more. If only you knew who walked with you. Be good to yourselves and be good to one another. Peace and love.